we preach that. We would rather have to tell you, hey, let's pull back a little bit rather than trying to get you to bite at it and go at it. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
been really good for us.
What's up, West Texas? You've tuned in to another episode of the Permian Basin Playbook podcast. I'm your host, K-Ball, and this is episode 27. Today, we're spreading far the fame of the Golden Cranes. Tonight, we got a stack lineup. Joining me in the studio, co-hosts Bailey Haney, Ryan Lehman, and Boosta. What's up, guys?
What's up?
We are diving into West Texas football, community pride, and coaching that goes way beyond the field. Our special guest tonight, the definition of West Texas grit, head golf coach, secondary coach for the Golden Cranes, junior high basketball coach, former Monahans Lobo, and a proud Sul Ross grad. Welcome, Coach David Birdwell. Coach Birdwell, welcome to the Permian Basin Playbook.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate having me on.
Yes, sir. Thanks for coming on. We know you're wearing a bunch of hats over there in the purple and gold country, and we're excited to hear about your journey from Monahans to Sul Ross to Crane and everything in between. And this segment's basically about your coaching mindset and passion. But we're 1st and 10 with Coach Birdwell, guys. Y'all ready?
We're ready.
Ready.
All right, Coach. So I know that you're somewhat new to Crane, but what has made this group stand out the most this year?
For me, I mean, personally, when you come into a new place, I mean, it's kind of just, filling out the waters and kind of seeing that senior class, you know what I mean? So for me, it's like, we got a good group of seniors. We got a large group, it seems like, just for me, when you come to a small school like this, 3A Division II. But then younger class, we're sophomore heavy. I mean, we got 10 sophomores on the varsity, 2 freshmen on the varsity. So, I mean, our young class is good. So, but just coming in, I mean, that's been real good transition for me, and something that's really helped me out, because a good nucleus and culture, guys, is what it is for us.
Yeah, heck yeah. Always good to have some good seniors, and then nice to look down the road and know you got some ball players coming up the pipeline
So
too.
it's been a real joy. I mean, having the younger cats, because like I said, me being new, the seniors, you come in and you're trying to give them the best you can. I mean, I'm not going to change their whole season or their whole time as being a football player in 3 months, right? So coming in, getting to know those guys and letting them adjust to me, but also having some younger guys that you're going to be able to change them and mold them into who they're going to be.
Good stuff. I like it. All right, Haney, you're up.
Okay. As a former athlete yourself, what are some characteristics that you see in your players that kind of remind you of how you used to be?
I mean, that would be kind of like, for me, if you were to talk to, I think y'all have had Coach Owens on here.
Oh, yeah.
Having Coach Owens, like, if you were to talk to Coach Owens, I mean, plenty of times he told me, you gotta play on the line. You gotta stay on the line. You can't cross the line. And, we have a bunch of guys to where it seemed like I crossed the line a little bit sometimes. With us, we've got a bunch of cats that, play on the line that I can kind of relate to in that aspect, it seems like. But they've been real good about not crossing that line. Early in the season, we kind of were shaky, just like every team, But, I see a bunch of myself and a bunch of these guys, West Texas guys, that just they like to play. They like to play hard, stay on that line. That I see a lot from them and seeing myself some. You know what I mean? So it's been a lot of fun to coach that stuff.
I dig it. I dig that for sure. And I like a little spice on a team, somebody that play.
Yeah.
I'd rather have to pull back on the reins and have to, whip something to get it going.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And we always talk about that. That's something we started at. You're always going to struggle when you have guys like that at the beginning of the year. You're going to struggle with stuff like that, and I'm a young coach, don't get me wrong, but just seeing those guys and understanding, and telling them exactly that, we preach that. We would rather have to tell you, hey, let's pull back a little bit rather than trying to get you to bite at it and go at it. You know what I mean? So that's been really good for us.
Heck yeah. Love it. All right. We're passing the ball over to Lehman.
All right, Coach. You've watched how the game's changed over the years, and what do you think today's kids have better than we did, and what's harder for them? What are some stark differences?
Uh, I mean, the game is just, over time it's changed to where everybody runs. I mean, you're the spread, everybody's in the spread, and I'm sure y'all have heard that before. Um,
Hmm.
I think the biggest thing, and I was kind of in that transition, I was at the start of it, really in the heart of all that when I was playing and everything. So, um, you know, better, I don't, maybe the knowledge of the game in the sense of like on the back end of stuff, like with us, I feel like kids in today's world have to know, certain coverages, they're running 2, 4, split field coverages and stuff like that. To where rather than just loading up the box, like, back in the day, like Coach Owens would always say, people are going to load up the box when we're the wing T, where people are going to load the box. So it's like, you're going to run 1 or 2 coverages here. You got to roll into some stuff. You're going to see formations. You're going to see, numbers of formations throughout the game. So you got to be prepared for that. So, knowledge wise, I would just have to say, that aspect of the game and those things. But, it's all still the same game, high school football. But I would say that part on for me.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
definitely evolved.
So you've been around West Texas grind for a while now, Coach. What's one thing that never changes about the football out here?
Well, like and I have understood, I did a year in Peaster. I went up there and did a year with Coach Owens' son, Trevor Owens.
Yeah.
So I was up there for a year and was a secondary coach up there. And, you come out here to being up around the Fort Worth area, I would say the biggest difference is, we may not have the size. I mean, everybody knows that. We don't have, we go up there, everybody's running an offense that involves your tight end or something. You come out here and, we may not have the biggest kids. The West Texas is definitely like the West Texas tough. I've always kind of thought that and believed in that, being from West Texas, born and raised, that the West Texas tough is a lot different. We're not going to have the speedsters. And when you do get a speedster, you got about 10 other guys behind you who better be, hard-nosed guys. But, we're not going to put 3, 4, 5 guys out there that are just speed. So the West Texas tough is by far what I notice in kids, and being in Monaghan's, coming, to Crane. And the West Texas tough is definitely something that's for real.
Heck yeah.
Nice. Very
Yeah,
cool.
something to be said for those kids too after playing football. But Coach, we mentioned you swing those sticks on the golf course a bunch too, and then you're coaching
Yep.
basketball and you're coaching football. How do you manage to stay locked in and keep that passion year round?
I mean, that's kind of why, I took a year. I say this, I coached a year in Monaghan's, then went up to Peaster, and then I actually took a year out. I worked in the oil field before I came to Crane. And to keep the passion, it kind of took me a year to really realize what my passion was. So like this year, I've seen a total difference in myself than what I did see the 2 first years I was coaching. Because before, you may be saying, you're hearing outside noise. Well, you're not making this, you're not doing this. But now it's just totally different. And I felt totally different this year. I'm really, for myself, I've really told myself, be where my feet are.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm so much more grounded in what I'm doing. And so with that, I feel like it's not really a grind. It's not really a job. I know as cliche as that sounds, but that's just kind of my thing. I've just really been able to stay grounded with myself and say, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. And I got a job in my sense. I've got a job to kids, and if I don't show up and give them what I'm supposed to, then I'm just not doing the ultimate job of what being a coach is.
Yeah. Well, and that's so good that especially at a younger age that you were kind of had an awakening that I have a calling to this and I miss it and I want to go
Yeah.
back because hopefully the oil field will always be there if you ever get out of coaching. But
For sure. Yeah.
but there's something to be said for that too. That's awesome.
So kind of piggybacking on your different coaching roles, we all know that golf takes a bunch of precision, oh my goodness, and patience. So how do you use that in your approach towards coaching football or even basketball?
Yeah, if you were to ask people, like, when it comes to patience and those things, I probably am not the guy to talk to. So,
Your
like,
picture's not in the definition of that.
yeah.
Huh?
So when you say being a golf coach and all that, I kind of go the other way. I kind of say that, I bring my mentality kind of from, football and basketball, and I kind of take it to the golf course. And I know that's kind of backwards, but I just kind of take that mentality. You're going to get what you get out of it. Kind of hitting on the golf stuff. I've always said, I don't really know if there's a great golf coach out there because golfers make golf coaches. You know, I can't go and putt for you and chip for you on Saturday and Sunday. I can't do that. So, I can make you do 100 things on Monday through Friday, but if you're not doing those things on Saturday and Sunday, or you're not doing those things in the evening, there's not, I'm not going to make you a great golfer. I'm not going to do that in 4 years. I can be there and guide you, but, I've always said golfers make golf coaches. It just is what it is.
Yeah. Coach is preaching tonight, Booster. He's
I
already
know.
preaching. We're
I
only like 10
know.
minutes in. That boy's preaching already.
Getting deep. Getting deep.
That's right.
All right, Layman, you got another one for Coach?
I do. Coach, you're a Sol Ross grad. What did that experience teach you on and off the field?
You know, going to college was I was the same way, bounced around a little bit, but ended up finishing up at Sol Ross. Did a little stint, playing right before COVID happened, and then got to be a student assistant. So my time at Sol Ross was kind of the same way. I didn't understand how great of a place it was until I left and came back. You sitting there not realizing I'm in Alpine, Texas, or I'm this and that, but you don't really understand. And the gratitude I have for Sol Ross now because of what it gave me. You're around a bunch of locals, West Texas people, but you're also getting your people from, some of my best friends from college or from Houston or from Dallas and places like that. So you still get a mix. And it just was a really great experience for me. But it did take time to get used to that. Oh, I'm still in Alpine, Texas or whatever. But once you bought into it and buy into it, and it's such an athletic, that was what the best thing about Sol Ross, I'll say. It's such an athletic campus, I say, because, if there's 1,200 people on campus, at least half of them are involved in sports at some point, it seems like. Even if they're there for 1 or 2 years playing, at some point they were playing.
Yeah.
So you're all
there
athletic
for a
mindsets
reason.
and things. Yeah, exactly. They're athletic mindsets. So a bunch of people that were like me, and it was just lots of fun. Lots of fun.
Heck yeah.
Speaking
Good.
of fun, what's a funny or unexpected moment that your players still tease you about, or something that still gets a laugh?
Oh, probably, if I was to say anything, with these guys when I first came in, they were asking me like, oh, well, what kind of shows do you watch, or what do you do this, what do you do that? And, I just kind of joke with them about like, I'm really not a TV guy or a series guy or anything like that, but I was pretty hooked on the Harry Potter movies for a while, and they kind of gave me crap for that, you know what I mean? So just the younger cats that don't understand it.
Right.
I went and watched a Harry Potter with my sister one time and knew nothing of Harry Potter at all. And I thought somebody had put something into my drink and I was tripping. It was like Return of the Phoenix or something like that. And I'm like, why are these people just flying around randomly? It was so weird.
And it's one of those things like I brought it up about watching it, 1 or 2 of them, and I was like, oh yeah, man. So it's kind of a joke, as soon as I got here.
So, Coach, you obviously you played in Monahans, and then now you're at Crane, and both those communities are a very strong community sense towns. What makes Crane special to you so far?
Yeah, that's kind of where you get from the 3 schools I've been at. When I was in Monahans, it was different, because I'm coming back home. Everybody knows me. I don't really have to. How you're proving yourself as a different person.
Yeah.
So now that I moved to Crane and I'm doing everything here, very similar. Small town atmosphere and everything like that. The number one thing that I do notice, and it roots from our parents and our community. As soon as I got here, if I tell somebody to do something, it's yes sir, no sir. It's yes ma'am, no ma'am. And that in itself has been something that when you don't have to teach that and you can just coach after that, and they may not like what you have to say, but it's yes sir, no sir, and go about your business. So that speaks a lot to me in the community and what the families that are doing at home, so that speaks volumes to me.
Yeah, a bunch of good kids over there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can y'all believe Chavo came there? Shout out to Chavo, man. He's not here tonight. He is. He's doing some stuff, guys. He's not just screwing around. I know for sure, but shout out to Chavo.
Okay.
You kind of already have touched on some of the different coaches in your life, but here in West Texas, I feel like there are some absolutely wonderful coaches. So, I mean, I guess who would be one of the coaches, or who are some of the coaches that really inspired you to do this job?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a couple. You can't just, I don't feel like you can just pinpoint one or two. Um, but guys that stick out, and I know Coach has been on here before, but Coach Owens, he was in Monahans forever, and you can only speak volumes. And my things about Coach Owens is I didn't really understand what he was doing for us until I got out of school. While I'm there and I'm just a player, I'm a coach and just a student of what he's doing. I really didn't understand. But then as I've grown up and I've gone back to referring to all the things that he's doing, it really just sticks to me. And he probably doesn't even understand kind of the impact he's had on my coaching. Just because, I may not talk to him all that much, but you look at the littlest of things, like, he used to say, be on, Lobo time.
Yeah.
As simple as that is, I know that
Yeah.
rings throughout town, but
Oh, yeah.
if you're not 15 minutes early, well, then you're late. And it's, you use that, and so I've used that in so many times in my life of not even like, well, I got to be early, but you're like, hell, Coach would kind of say you need to be 15 minutes early.
Yeah.
So, it may be a jokingly thing, but I've used it so much. So, when you talk about coaches like him that have just made an impact on so many people, but him, and I'm going to give a shout out to, he's no longer coaching anymore, but Coach Ashmore, he was a basketball coach in Monahans for a long time, and or for a couple of years, and was a young coach for us. And he was a really impactful guy because he was kind of one of those guys that kind of saw, we may have been turds at times, but he could really play with us. You know what I mean? He could really get us to play and move in a direction. And when I was there, we made a run to the third round in the playoffs, and basketball, which in Monahans is like,
Yeah, it doesn't
what I
happen.
mean? That's not going to happen. And it was just somebody who really could get us to play in a different way. So those were guys that really impacted me, and taught me two different, perspectives of it. But, going back to Coach Owens, it was just when you get to play for somebody like that, it really is a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. I love it that you identify with being a little bit of a knucklehead, because I identify with being a knucklehead too. And when I hear of other people in the community or whatever complaining about a kid, my first instinct is to take the kid's side, because at one time I might have been that kid that they were talking about too, that might have been crossing that line that we were speaking of earlier, that kind of went full bore and did something dumb, and they're kids, and so I like it. I like that, Coach, man. That fires me up for all those kids that are getting to be around you.
I mean, yeah, like if I were to sit here and tell you and talk to you without talking about that, every coach that coached me would be saying, "Nah, he's full of it."
You're lying,
So,
Kurt.
yeah, you're lying. So there's no hiding behind that.
That's awesome, man. All right, Layman, you're up. Sorry, man. I bumped in.
No, you're good, man. You're good. Hey, Coach, if you could pick any three coaches, past or present, to sit down and to talk football, have a conversation with, who are you inviting?
Ooh, that's a good one, Ryan.
Past and present. This is just the Red Raider in me in the past. But if I had to bring, if you could talk to someone, I got to talk Mike Leach.
Yeah, for sure.
If you could talk to Mike Leach and just
That
kind of
would be
just
an
sit there and talk to
interesting
him,
conversation.
that would, just the conversation. I just want to hear what he would want to say, what he's got
Right.
to say. He's one of the guys. Everybody can say, I think generically, you'd like to talk to Nick Saban.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody I think would like to at some point in their life.
Mhm.
But I've always thought, in my opinion, Kirby Smart, he's somebody too that I've always thought, because he's defensive minded. So it's kind of the route that I've just gone, that I've kind of, my coaching career has led me to. So I've really looked into his stuff and some of the coaches that have coached under him. And so I think it would be really cool to get to talk to those guys.
Heck yeah, for sure. That's a
Nice.
good list, man. I dig that list.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, Coach, we got to ask, and you've already talked about the oil field, but if you weren't coaching sports, what would be your plan C? Not oil field, but what else would you be doing if you weren't coaching?
Man, if I wasn't coaching and I couldn't go to the oil field, I would probably be lost because, growing up in West Texas, I don't know a whole lot outside of it. You could say, I could probably say a ton of things, but I'm not an expert in any of them. So, we have a farm and a ranch, and, I could say maybe go be a rancher or some sort, but that's also, I don't know nothing about it. That would be, I would have to start from ground zero. So, I could really only say that, but, kind of talking on that, that's kind of where I am and why I am, because all I know is athletics. I grew up in Monahans, of course, in a small village.
Right.
And so that's what I did. So if I knew if it wasn't going to be in athletics and coaching, it was going to be in the oil field somewhere and trying to make a hand. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I wish I could give you a better answer, but those are the only two things I know.
Yeah.
Did
No,
you
that's
just call Monahans a village? Because I get teased at work that we have a village over here. So I'm really not going to
Well,
hear the end of it.
I always say a village just because, it was a place. It was every small town and every kid probably has to do it. But, growing up, my mom being a single mom and everything, it
Yeah.
did take a village. And my dad and stepmom, they're great people too, but they weren't there. They had moved and then they came back. So, when you have people like, I always throw out people that don't even probably know, but, the Eddie Nelms and JoJo Carter and Joel Griner and Mr. Smith, Mr. Chad Smith, they were people that really influenced me. And so when I say a village, it took a village.
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Because you were a handful.
I was a
Right?
handful for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Leave him alone, Brenda.
Hey, we might just have to text Lisa to pop in and tell us about some of those
Yeah, we're gonna have to
handful
do
moments.
some little
Like I said, she could call
sidebar stories.
she could call somebody in town and she could figure out. I promise.
Coach,
She's pretty resourceful.
has there been a moment this year or even in your time coaching at Monahans or at Peaster that is a specific moment that you told yourself, this is why I do this job?
For sure this year.
Really?
For sure this year. Yeah. Before, like I said, I was always questioning it. Kind of like what else could I do? Am I chasing something else? Could I chase something else? But for sure this year, being around these kids and understanding why I'm doing it and, really making a connection. I feel it when you're bought in, you're bought in. And like they say, kids don't lie. And so before, when you're not fully bought in, it's kind of like, they probably seen that. So in the past, I'm not getting probably a full reaction out of them. Not that I wasn't coaching hard and doing those things, but just outside of coaching and creating that relationship here, I feel like I've really, like I said, locked into that side of it. And so I'm really understanding where I'm at. And so here has really shown me why I'm doing what I'm doing.
That's cool, man. Crane got a good one.
They did.
I hope so.
All right, Bailey, last one for you.
Yes, sir. Obviously, you have a very busy schedule, but if you or when you have a day off, what is your go-to thing to do to unwind?
I like chilling. I'm a big chill guy. If I can hang out with the family and friends and do that kind of deal, I love it. If I get a weekend off, I'm going snowboarding a couple times in the winter. I love being in the mountains, stuff like that. I'm a big when it comes to hunting. I'm a big hunting, dove season and deer season. So if I can find time to do those kind of things, that's what I try to do.
Nice, man. Big chill.
All right, Coach. Like you had just said, this kind of being like your eye-opening year, kind of like your aha year. I'm sure the Friday Night Lights hit a little differently. So what makes the crowd and community in Crane so special?
Well, it's like anywhere else. When you're not winning, nobody's happy, and when you're winning, everybody's happy. It's
Right.
like everybody else. I always the phrase, you're looking for a win on Friday night, and you love when you wake up and found one on Saturday type deal.
Hell yeah.
It's kind of it's like everywhere. The one thing that I have noticed, and I brought this up in our game the other night, every one of our games we've had a really good showing. So whatever the reason is, hopefully it's good. They've showed up to support the kids and showed up to really be a community behind what we're doing. And that's really what you're ultimately trying to do. And, because not from my experience, it ain't from my experience and it ain't for theirs. But when the kid looks up and he sees a crowd full of people and knows that the town shut down for him, it's a different feeling. So, I really do applaud the community for that.
Yeah, that hits a little differently.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, you can't get a kid to understand what he's doing and why he's doing it until he looks up there and sees a bunch of people really supporting what we're doing.
I agree.
That's definitely a Texas thing.
Oh,
Yep.
for sure. And a West Texas thing because you ain't got a
Oh,
whole
for
lot of
sure.
things going on.
This is true.
Yep.
All right, guys, let's transition into our news and notes segment. That was an awesome first segment with the coach. Let's give Coach a round of applause for that first segment. We had him first and 10 for a little while there, but Coach, we're going to bring you back on second down. It's time for our news and notes segment. Can you give us a scoop on your Golden Cranes? How's the team looking, and what's coming up next for Crane football?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we've had a pretty good year. We've had our ups and downs just like everybody. Very few teams have just a bunch of ups. So we're one of those groups that's just been up and down a little bit, battled some stuff. Started out the year 2-0, and then went kind of on. We went on a 3-game segment where we battled some stuff. Injury kind of got the injury bug for a little bit. Just little things like that, and we kind of went on like I said, 3 games where we just kind of struggled. Weren't the best team on Friday nights, coaching wise, athlete wise, the whole 9 yards. We just weren't the best team. But then this past couple of weeks kind of rallied back after losing a tough one, to Odessa Compass. Really good team, really well coached team. And they were our first district loss of the year. But we were able to battle back the next couple of weeks. So going in the bye week, I believe, we're 4-3. And then coming into this next week, we'll play Compass again. If people don't know our district, we play everybody twice in a 14 district. So it'll kind of give us an opportunity, say, another chance at them. But, I know that they're well coached and be prepared. But in a big sense, it'll be a chance for a district championship when you really look at things because they beat us by a touchdown last time. So, if we can just, get back at them a little bit, it really is the district championship game for our district as long as, we take care of business the rest of the way. But other than that, I mean, it's been really good. Like I said, you can't complain when kids are dealing with, I believe we've got 3 new coaches on this staff, along with 2 or 3 others that came in last year. So with what we're doing, it's taking patience, it's taking time, but I really think we can get the ball rolling and see what we can do coming in the later half of the season.
Yeah. It's get back time, baby. It's get back time.
For sure. For sure.
I love it, man. There's some good talent over there in Crane. And speaking of West Texas talent, we've got a special pop-in guest tonight. She is a former, oh, you'll like this, Bailey. She is a former OHS Lady Bronco, now making waves at Saul Ross as a member of the volleyball squad. Guys, help me welcome Miss Clarissa Deleon. Hello, Clarissa. How's it going?
It's going good.
Doing all right
How's it going
today?
for y'all?
We're doing well. We're glad that you came in and popped in. We
Yes,
got a
I'm
few.
glad to be here.
Good. We got to chat with you last year. You were an award winner at the 33 Lead Banquet, so it's good to catch up with you.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to kick this thing off for us. How has the transition been from high school volleyball at OHS to playing collegiately at Saul Ross?
I would say that the difference is like the pace. Everything here is just so quick, yet our season is like so stretched out. And we used to have games on Tuesdays and Fridays. Now it's like 2 or 3 games a week here. So it's just like it's consistent, like working out, having to do conditioning and volleyball. So, but I would say that it's just that, and I would say like the skill is definitely different at this level too.
Yeah.
So it was such a hard, it wasn't necessarily very hard, but the jump from that is very different.
Yeah.
But I've
For
had a
sure.
good support system here to help me adjust.
That's good to hear.
Good.
Yeah, everybody can play in college. Everybody's good in college.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, ain't no joke.
And speaking of your transition, how are you finding yourself to stay motivated between your athletics and your academics?
I find my motivation to be like honestly just to keep looking forward and like academic wise, I keep looking forward to my undergraduate degree since I'm I'm really like pressed on the fact that I want to graduate. I want to continue my education, and that's the reason that I came to college. And volleyball is the fun part, yet it's just something that I love to continue doing. And um honestly, volleyball just comes very easy for me. So um I mean that's just my motivation is just to like keep playing and just to do what I can to maintain that status there.
It's cool, man.
Nice. How has the coaching at Sul Ross and at the collegiate level, how has that helped you develop as a player and as a person?
I would say the biggest thing with the coaching staff that they've helped me with is my confidence. I recently just came off my ACL injury, so um, just playing with that and having them have my back and them supporting me like in practices and stuff, telling me I can, I can, I can. It just helps me uh like push the negatives aside and just keep pushing forward and to just keep going along with the team.
Gosh, I
Yeah.
like that.
Good.
So, Clarissa, who was your biggest influence coming out of OHS that helped you believe you could play college ball?
I would say my biggest influence would definitely be Coach Dominguez. You know, after like I had gotten hurt and stuff, because I had gotten hurt in the first half of district, so it was really hard for me to just keep watching. But he was just there to let me know, like I can still help the team with my advice and stuff, and he was saying that like that can help me overall in college. You know, watching from the bench and because not every freshman gets to play too.
Yeah.
So that kind of like helped me realize that like I'm still I'm still a part of the team even from the sidelines. So um just that overall too and him um like just helping me guide oh gosh. He helped like guide me along like even in my recruiting process too because I wasn't you know, exactly on every coach's radar with that injury as well. So it was kind of difficult in that perspective, but um it was really it had a lot to do with him and I would say my like the underclassmen too. Like they helped me a lot to, you know, just keep me motivated and to just help me realize that I can do it for them too to show them like that somebody can do it and that they can also try and go for it as well if they really desire to do it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember I got hurt in college my second year and I had to redshirt. We were talking about it earlier, actually. So I had to watch like 60 games from the bench and it sucked during the time. But then looking back, I learned so much about just kind of looking at it as like a coach's perspective a bit. And I was able to kind of level up my mentality from just watching the game. So that's good that you've kept a positive outlook on in that perspective. So who's up? Is it me?
It is you.
It is me. Okay. All right, Clarissa, what's been your favorite game or moment so far for the Sul Ross Lobos?
I would say um well I guess it's like a pregame ritual for us. Like so we started having like pregame lifts and stuff like that. So just to like get our mentalities ready for the game.
I dig it.
And
A pregame
eh,
pump, huh?
oh very much so. Um I would say like that like our first lift would definitely be one of the best moments that I've had. Like Um, because everybody just shows up and they're all ready to go, they're ready to work, and we're just ready to keep pushing on into the game too. So
Yeah.
it just kind of helps as a motivation. And I just see that as being like one of my favorite moments because it kind of it relates a lot to team bonding too. So we all get to kind of like know each other and still get to push each other too, even just from the weight room.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool deal. I like that.
What advice would you give to future players or players who dream of playing in college?
I would say, um, well, one thing one of my club coaches would say is, to always act, um, like to act like you were being watched by a coach, like all the time, because somebody can watch you and say, "Oh, she does this and this in her free time. Maybe it's not a good idea to have her on the team." So it's kind of like your decisions make an impact on everything that you do. So, and that goes just for life itself too, because you never know who's watching. And another thing I would say is to just keep working hard and be persistent whenever you're on the court, or even if you're in the weight room as well. Like persistence is key, especially when you're trying to go and play college volleyball. And another thing is to always like maintain a positive attitude. Even when things don't go right, you can always see the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak.
Heck yeah. I
She's
like that.
way smarter than I am.
Oh, heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's good. So, Clarissa, I know you touched earlier on some of the differences going from high school to college. What would you say your biggest difference in competition would be at the collegiate level, or just the difference in competition from high school to college?
Honestly, I would have to say like since I don't know, like in high school you had girls that kind of like did everything and they always worked at different positions, so they never got to truly work on the one thing that they liked. But in college, all these girls got recruited for that one thing that they're good at. So that's definitely something, and especially in this conference, since it's so tough, um, like all of these girls are talents from like out of state or even internationally. So they're all good at that one thing. So I would say that's the biggest difference, especially because like that's one thing that they train for and they continue to train for like in college. And overall it's just the tempo as well. Like in high school you could get away with having like a slower serve or like a slower pace on the set. And in college that kind of it gives a lot to the opponent to where they can take advantage of that and use it for to their own advantage, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that's just something that you have to learn um not to continue doing, but to just keep pushing yourself to make them work harder.
Yeah.
Where
That
you
Lone Star
separate the
Conference ain't no joke, huh?
nope.
No, it ain't.
That's
Definitely
where you
not.
separate the boys from the men.
Booster, it's you.
It's me. So I'm gonna go off script since Joe's not here.
Oh,
Somebody's got to do it.
shout out to Big Joe.
Clarissa, what is your hype song before a game?
Oh, I would have to say like any song by I would say Bad Bunny. Like
Oh yeah.
just
Okay.
Catch him on the
just
Super
to
Bowl later.
that's right. I
Bad
would have to
Bunny.
say like one of those songs, like just to just to get my mind going to like start moving, so to speak, because
Nice.
his his songs are pretty easy to like dance to and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Coach Birdwell, I'm not trying to leave you out. Did you have anything for Clarissa? So, Clarissa, Coach Birdwell actually graduated from St. Ross, and he's a coach at Crane. So he was our special
Oh,
guest tonight, and you were our pop-in guest. So just wanted to make sure if you had anything for Clarissa, I wanted to check with you, Coach.
No, if I was going to ask anything, I mean, I'm sure that she's about tired of the UC if she's already been eating at the UC. But if I was going to ask her a question, what's your favorite spot to go eat at in Alpine?
oh, um, recently I've been going to Sonic, but
Sonic.
um, Sonic is really good. Try their hot dogs.
And
The hot dogs are
the
where it's
99
at.
cent store, the 99-cent store was the spot whenever I was there. That's all
Oh
I'm
The
saying.
yes.
99-cent store?
Oh, was the
Uh-huh.
spot. Yes.
I would be going there sometimes and I look at some of the food and I realize I don't have an oven or like a stove, so I'm like, oh, I can't cook anything. So
Oh, coach is dropping knowledge on us on that 99-cent store. That's awesome. Well, Clarissa, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. It's been an honor. We're so happy to have you on. It's good to see you again. We are definitely rooting for you and the Saul Ross volleyball squad, Lobos, the rest of the season. Coach Birdwell, man, always a pleasure having you on. Thank you for what you do for these kids in the community. We got to have you back again, both of you guys, but we appreciate you guys.
We're really
Yes,
proud of
thank
you
y'all.
both.
Thanks.
Y'all are doing
Appreciate it,
awesome,
guys.
man. Y'all are
Thank
doing
y'all.
awesome. We'll talk
Yep,
to you guys
appreciate it.
soon.
Yeah, cool.
Thank y'all. Bye.
All right, guys. How about that for news and notes? Both those, Coach Birdwell's awesome and Clarissa's doing well. I didn't know she had a knee injury going
Yeah.
at the end of her senior year. That's amazing to still get into college. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool.
I feel like knees are really hard to come back from in volleyball because what do you only do in volleyball is
Yeah.
jump all the time.
Yeah.
So like that is very impressive to finish her senior year off like that. And I know she was playing club second half of her senior year because I seen her at tournaments last year. So I'm really impressed with her ability to jump back like that.
Yeah. It's awesome.
For sure.
She has some pretty
Yeah.
great parents too.
Yeah. What are their names?
Paul and hang on.
It's all good. Shout out to Paul DeLeon. It's all good. Are you looking it up right now?
I am because I have her on.
I know they've been very supportive. Whenever we announced her, they were both very supportive.
Rachel
Rachel.
and Paul.
Cool. Awesome.
No, they're
All right.
very supportive of everything that we do.
Yeah. All right. So we're about to get into our pick'ems, but we got to announce our chain winner, right? Last week we had on Miss Gina Williams, and shout out to Miss Gina. She said that MJ was going to put on a show, and that he did, earning Monaghan's their first victory of the season. We had Lehman on last week. We
Yeah.
had Busta on, and we had myself on. And y'all were terrible, and I was the best. So, in
I
honor
didn't get
of
to
the
wear my chain last
in
week.
honor of the West Texas Barbecue Bash, we're gonna
There
rock
it
this
is.
thing tonight. So yeah, y'all were terrible, and I'm the best. All right, West Texas Barbecue Bash happening this weekend, y'all. Happening this weekend, October 18th at the Ward County Sport
Sweet.
Complex. You like that, Brenda?
Bailey, it's all right.
That's what a champion looks like. Woo!
It's all right.
Two
Bailey,
claps
you need
and
to
a
come have
woo!
some barbecue.
I've been seeing it on Facebook and I'm just,
Good.
yeah,
Share.
just gotta
Tell
make
your
the
friends.
drive.
Tell them to come on.
Hey, we need some judges for the food.
Yep, we sure do. Yeah, if
Oh,
y'all
I
want to
can't be a
judge,
food judge because I think everything tastes good. I'm not gonna pick anyone.
you will.
Everyone's better.
I promise you would. I promise you would.
You
All
can
right,
come eat
guys,
for
we're
free.
no longer friends. It's that time again. All right, Friday Night Lights across West Texas. Let's get into this week's pick'ems and see who's taking home the bragging rights.
Let's do it.
This. All right.
Whatever.
Once again, everybody else lost and I won. Just so we're clear on that, okay?
For the record,
Y'all
no
are
one's
good?
really checking your
Check them.
information.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. And actually, what's even more embarrassing is Gina beat both of you guys. Me and her tied.
You know what? Hey, you know what? Monaghan's beat Snyder. That's all I care about.
True.
They proved me wrong.
Good job,
Does he have a
Busta.
mute button?
we're gonna minus Layman 10
Thinks
points.
because it's his birthday, he can talk smack.
All right. Our first game, Fort Davis is 1-4. Going to the Grand Falls Royalty Cowboys. Busta, who you taking on this one?
Oh, this is easy. I'm gonna go with the Grand Falls Cowboys.
Yeah. What about you, Haney?
I also went for Grand Falls, math girly here.
Yeah, for sure. Layman?
Yeah, Grand Falls as well.
They have outscored their last three opponents 188-48, I believe. Pretty dominant stretch. I'm rolling with the Cowboys also. All right, Odessa High, the alma mater of one of our co-hosts tonight, is 0-6. The Bronchos are 0-6, and they're headed across the way, crossing 1788 to get over to Midland and take on the Bulldogs of Midland High. All right, Haney, who you taking on this one? I know who you're taking, but tell me why.
We all know I'm going with the Broncos. I've already told y'all they're a second half team. It's the second part of their season. This is when they're gonna start winning games right here.
All right. Put one down for Haney on the Broncos. Layman, who you got in this one?
Man, I went back and forth on this one, but I'm gonna pick the Broncos as well.
Oh, it's a
because
trap
I
game for the dogs. It's a trap
be-
game.
because I'm hoping that they're gonna come back from last week and have something to prove.
Oh, y'all are calling trap right here. I got you. All right, Boosta, set these people straight.
I can't. I don't know why. I have this feeling that Bailey's right this week.
Oh my goodness. All right, I got one name to tell you. His name is Carson Ham from Midland High. He's a ball hawk. He's got 7 interceptions this year and counting. Homeboy's got a nose for the football. And I think Midland looked pretty decent against Friendship. I think the Bulldogs defense will set the tone, and I think they win at home. Give me Midland High against all you guys. You hear that, Midland High? They don't believe in you. All right, Snyder is 0-7 versus Fort Stockton, heading over to Panther Country. Booster, who you taking in this one?
Oh, I think
Is
the
this a trap game
Panthers.
also?
Nope. I think the Panthers are gonna win this one.
But you picked Snyder last week. You're not riding with
I
him
did.
again.
I'm not.
I will say this. Snyder has a kid by the name of Ethan Rios that is a total stud. He is fast. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball. He's a very good ball player. Haney, who you taking in this one?
I actually am taking Snyder because I graduated from WTC, so I have to go for
Oh,
my
I got
team.
you. I got
So
you.
I believe in
It's
them.
a heart picker.
Heart. That's a heart picker. Hashtag heart pick. All right, Layman.
Yeah, I'm going Greenwood. I mean, come on.
Greenwood.
No offense, maybe.
Snyder
way
and
we
Fort
said?
Stockton.
Game.
Yeah, Snyder and Fort
Snyder
Stockton.
Stockton? Oh, I'm
Yes.
going Stockton. Yeah, Stockton. I got Stockton.
Okay, yeah. Fort Stockton's offense, I think, has quietly put together a strong year. Shout out to Jerry Diaz. He's got 8 passing touchdowns. And Nick Alamanderas, he's leading the
Yeah.
team on the ground. Pretty balanced attack over there in Fort Stockton with a pretty decent defense. I'm going with the Panthers. Although it won't be easy. It won't be easy.
Let's see what happens.
This next one is arguably game of the week written all over it. Wall is 7-0 and they are salty versus Kahoma, who's 6-1. Layman, I'll give you first take on this one.
I'm going Wall.
The Hawks, yeah.
Yeah. I think they just look. I think they just look really good. So I'm going Wall.
Yeah, 2 hard-nosed, disciplined teams. Kahoma's definitely got some fight to them, but Wall just seems to be really legit all the way around. I'm going to join you on that. Give me the Hawks. Haney, who you taking?
I also picked Wall, but I also think it's going to be a very close game.
Yeah, I agree with you. Busta, round us out on this game.
I also went with Wall. Aren't they ranked?
Yeah, they're
ranked?
they've been top 5 since week 2 or 3, something like that.
Yeah.
So
They looked really good when they came.
their quarterback is good. They've got a wide receiver. I bet you he's 6'4" and he's springy as well. And they'll put a hat on you. All right. Layman was already ready for Greenwood. This dude's got.
I know.
He's
I was.
He's coming in hot.
He's got his cleats spatted up. He's ready to run out of the run through.
Shoot, my helmet's right over here.
Bro,
And then the way
chill.
the way
All
Coach is
right.
talking, I'm ready to run
Simmer
through.
down.
All right, Greenwood, 6-0, comes to visit the Green Hats of Monahans. Boosta, I will give you first bid.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it going and not pick Monahans again. Clearly, I don't care. I am a competitor. Greenwood's gonna kick their ass.
All right,
Bleep that.
Haney?
Bleep that.
What you think on this?
That's not a very heart pick of you, but I'm also going with Greenwood. But at least I supported my own team.
Yeah,
Bailey,
Yeah.
you already know I'm not a heart anything.
comparing hearts, I would lean towards Haney a little bit more. No disrespect, Boosta, I love you. Layman, what you got on this, man?
You already know where I'm going. So I picked Monahans last week, and I think that's enough bleeding green for now. I just solely based off a record, man. I'm picking Greenwood.
Yeah. Shout out to Monahan's Majestic Williams. He had over 275 yards and multiple TDs last week for the Lobos.
There we go.
I think with the pass he caught was over 300 yards. So shout out to Mondo Flores, the Monahans News, hooking me up today. Got to chat with him, and
That's right.
Greenwood, they're stacked. They have some weapons. Lincoln Madrid is definitely a game-changing type of quarterback. I do have to shout out our guy. Um I've referred to him as Big Nasty this year. Turns out his name is Jaden Colvert, and he is a fan of the show. We've talked a little bit through a couple of the socials. I know his dad through oil and gas, but he holds it down in the trenches, and I think they just have too much firepower. I'm gonna have to go with the Rangers. Who am I missing on this one? Is that everybody?
Yeah, you're just gonna have to get me some security at the barbecue bash because
Yeah.
every time we've been in town, I keep getting approached by people. So we have a lot of followers and listeners.
Speaking of that, advertise with 33 Lead Joby Flores Foundation, the Permian Basin Playbook podcast. We have been seen almost 100,000 times in the last 2 months on all of our social media accounts. So thank you to viewers and thank you everybody in West Texas that have been a part of our growth, and we're happy to do it, happy to bring this to you. All right. Midland Lee is 2-4, heading up to the Lubbock area to face the Friendship Tigers, who are back to 500, exactly like I said it would be last week. Busta, who you taking in this one?
I think I'm gonna pick Friendship.
Yeah, I think
they're
it's a bit of
gonna.
I think it's a toss up too. What do you think, Haney?
I am going with Midland Lee. I just feel like it's gonna be close, and I just feel like Midland Lee has that fight in them, and they're gonna pull it off.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Lee's quarterback, JP Reyes, I believe he's a junior. He has thrown for over 1,300 yards. Now, Friendship has an air raid offense that's looked pretty strong this whole year, especially against Midland High last week. I think it's going to come down to who wins up front, but I'm gonna give Lee the edge. So give me the Rebels. Layman, who you taking?
I picked Friendship, man.
Friendship.
Friendship.
I think it's last name Campbell, but he will probably end up playing on Saturdays at some point. I think it's Chase Campbell. Don't quote me on that, but I really think the last name is Campbell for Friendship. He's a stud. He's going to play after high school. All right.
Nice.
So who did you have, Busta?
I had Friendship.
Friendship. Layman had Friendship. Me and Haney were Lee. All right. The chain's probably going to be staying or going over to Haney, but not the rest of you guys over there.
Yeah, when
All
those
right.
Broncos pull off this win,
Yep. All right. Game 7. We're headed to Mojo Land, San Angelo Central. Got their heart broke last week, man. They're headed over to Permian, and it doesn't get any easier over there in Mojo Land. Layman, who you taking on this one?
I'm picking Permian, man. I think they got a good team over there, and I think I don't know that it's even going to be close.
Haney, who you
But
taking?
I'm also taking Permian. I think coming off of beating the hometown rivalry. My goodness, I think they have a lot of hype and energy going into that, and they already are a really good team.
Yeah. Layman, I stepped on you a little bit. Were you going to say something else?
no, I was just saying, but anything could happen. I think Permian's going to walk away with it pretty easily.
Got you. Busta?
Oh, I definitely think Permian's gonna take this one.
Yeah, Centrals seem to be pretty balanced. Permian's got that mojo momentum, though. I do want to shout out to linebacker Caleb Jameson. He's been lights out, and he leads the team in tackles this year. But I think the Panthers keep rolling. I'm taking Permian. All right, Fort Worth Christian is 6-0, and they're headed down to Midland to take on the 4-2 Midland Christian Mustangs. Busta, who you taking in this one?
I hate to go against a West Texas team, but those Dallas Fort Worth teams are top notch, and I think Fort Worth Christian is gonna power over Midland Christian.
Yeah. Haney, I see you shaking your head a little bit.
I agree. I just like seeing when we end up going to playoffs in this area, like as soon as we play those Dallas Fort Worth teams, it's almost like done for instantly. So I'm just going with Fort Worth.
Yeah. They seem to be Fort Worth Christian seems to want to air it out a little bit more. They're definitely kind of loaded offensively. I do want to shout out Midland Christian, Coy Hayes. He's been a great on the defensive side of the ball for the Mustangs this year. He'll be tested all night, as will our guy Jackson Franco. Good luck to that guy this week. It's going to be tough. I'm definitely leaning towards Fort Worth Christian this week. What about you, Layman?
Same. I'm going Fort Worth Christian as well. Same
Yeah.
reasons y'all said.
I hope they prove me wrong. I really do, because that would be an epic game for them to win. But they got a tough road ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, this is district implications right here. Our game of the week. Wink is 4-2, and they're headed over to take on the Braves of Iran, who are also 4-2. Boosta, I'll give you first take.
Man, I knew you were going to come to me first. I was back and forth with this because I really think Wink has the upper hand, but they're playing in Iran, and I think that
Hostile,
always has
right? Hostile environment. It gets hot between Wink and Iran. I'm just telling you.
But we had, what is his name? Kamad
Fasin, yeah.
Yeah.
Kamad
He rushed for
Fasin.
172 yards, and then their quarterback rushed for 162. It's going to be so close. And I mean, I could go back. Their stats are so similar, but I'm going to go with our Wink Wildcats.
Yeah, got you. Haney, who you taking?
I
It's a
think
toss-up for you?
it was so hard. I was like, I hate when the records are even. And if I'm not wrong, Wink won last time, correct? When they played Iran last?
Yes, they did.
Yes.
There was some drama after the game, I believe. Not with any of the kids, but some fans.
Yeah, I think both fan bases are very supportive, right?
Yeah.
So I went back and forth, but I ultimately went with Wink, but I think it's be very close.
Oh, my score.
Oh, yeah, good call.
I think it's going to
Busta.
be 28-21.
And you picked Wink, 28-21. All right.
Yes.
Haney, you're picking who now?
I also am picking Wink, but I swear I did not copy. I have 27-21 written down.
$1, Bob. Brenda was mentioning Iran's quarterback, Braden Schneeman. He threw for over 2,600 yards last year, and he's on pace to beat that mark this year. On the other side of the fence, I should say, Wink's quarterback, Gunnar Voiles, is a junior quarterback who stepped in, and he's got, I think, 7 touchdowns since taking over this season. And then, of course, Brenda Busta mentioned Kamad Fasin. He's got 16 total TDs this year. I'm calling barn burner on this one. Wink 28 17. Layman, what you got?
Yeah, I'm picking Wink as well. Like I said last week, I just like what they do over there. I think they've got a pretty good program. I had 28-21. I'm gonna go, and if you went 17, I'm gonna go 28-14 Wink.
All right. So Layman and I have them kind of dominating, and the ladies have it a little bit closer ball game.
Yep.
It's gonna be tough. That's always a good game. That's something that I would like to go to, and possibly 2 of the dopest uniforms in West Texas going at it this weekend. Like that black and red of Iran and the black and orange always looks good. So
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
You know the Wink fans are going to turn out too. So.
Oh yeah, they travel well.
Mhm.
So, man, it was awesome to have Coach Birdwell on tonight, and then also Bailey, thanks, and Busta, thanks for lining up Clarissa. That was special to get to see her again and chat with her, and then hopefully some of our younger athletes can take what she's saying and put that into fruition. So very cool. Thanks, Haney, Layman, and Busta. We appreciate you guys. Another great show. You guys remember to follow us on Facebook, Spotify, iTunes, iHeart Radio, and Amazon Music. Also, for sure, follow us on TikTok PB Playbook Podcast _33 lead. And we'll see you next week under the lights. Until then, guys, play hard, lead strong. That's the 33 lead way. You guys keep spreading the fame of West Texas student athletes. Permian Basin Playbook Podcast signing off. Y'all have a good week.